Hello, my name is Albert Curry, and welcome to another installment of Slammin Synapses. This segment is going to be submitted for possible inclusion to the PW Insider family of websites. That's pwinsider.com, pwinsiderelite.com, and pwinsiderextra, no e.com. You can visit them on Twitter at pwinsider.com or on Facebook at pwinsider. Like I said many times before, the Elite site is a great paid site to go to. Lots of great audio, lots of great video. So without any further ado, let's get to this segment, which is going to be pretty quick. If you've seen my previous segment called Developing a Superstar, I mentioned on how sometimes on the road that sometimes a person will have to go through to get up in wrestling, in terms of starting out, in terms of training school, things of that nature. This one's going to be expanding on this, and I'm going to be titling this, What Exactly Are You Afraid of, WWE? Now, in baseball, let me see, how can I put this? In baseball, there's a farm system. You have your major league, then you have your AAA, your AA, places where they groom you and get you ready for the next level, so that when it gets time to be called up, then you're there and ready to go. For some reason, WWE seems to not have embraced this. They do have NXT, they do have FCW, they have a lot of guys down on these rosters that should be brought up to the next level, but for whatever reason, they're not. There's thinning talent on the Raw and Smackdown brand, and yet for some reason, these guys are just languishing. You look at the segment with Cena and Sheamus a while back, where they had all these guys that just jumped in that are from NXT, that people are like, who are these people? Because they don't really push NXT that much, and FCW is like, it's there, but it's not. I had the privilege of watching a couple of things of FCW recently, and I have to say, I definitely enjoyed that product much more than I did Raw, because it was more gritty. You had an hour to deal with things, and you couldn't really go that goo with segments there. Now, at that same level, I feel that in FCW and NXT, it's like you're working your way up, but then when you get to Raw, it's like you're at a disadvantage, because sometimes they put the people in comedy segments, or they don't give them the push they rightfully deserve. FCW, you have people like Seth Rollins, you have Dean Ambrose, you have quite a few people there that should be brought up that for some reason aren't. And I don't think there's anybody that's championing for these people. I mean, if I was John Cena or CM Punk, I'd be like, we got all these people that we can bring up, that we can make stars out of, but for whatever reason we're not, and it doesn't seem like we're going to, otherwise they'd be brought up already. I mean, go watch, if you have YouTube, go watch NXT. They don't promote it that much. It's like, I tend to forget it too, because it's not something that WWE brings to our attention. If you have the capability, find someone, or find the capability of watching an FCW show. You'll see that the way it's handled is completely different than things that you would see on Raw or SmackDown. So yeah, if I was in Raw or SmackDown and I saw that I was going to be working all these dates, the first thing I'd be thinking to myself is, why are we doing this to ourselves when we have all these people that we could bring up and shape and mold and get over to the next level? Why are we thinning people out? I mean, that's like taking a jar of peanut butter or jelly and getting the most out of it, scraping every last bit out of it, put on a piece of bread and eat that, and forget about the fact that we have a whole bottle of peanut butter or a whole bottle of jelly that's in the pantry still waiting to be utilized, but they're not. Why thin things out that much when you have an abundance of peanut butter, have an abundance of jelly at your hands that you could get in there and make a sandwich that's worth eating and enjoying? Why are you continuing to put people through what you're putting them through when you don't really have to? Randy Orton's been suspended. Jericho's been out for a bit. R-Truth's going to be out for a bit with a broken foot. Alberto Del Rio may be out with a concussion. Why are you not pulling the trigger and bringing up these people that should by all rights be brought up? I mean, you had people that were in NXT that you put back to FCW. Bring those people up. Give them a story. Give them a reason to get behind people. I mean, you saw it with my latest segment with regards to Albert. It's like, if you give them the right push, the right spot, the right angle, they will get over, and people will watch it and enjoy it. But if you don't, I mean, what's the point? Why aren't you getting behind these people? exactly are you afraid of? I mean, WWE used to be the place where they got behind people and gave them the push. I mean, there were times where there was like 8 or 10 guys at any particular time you could put into a world title position, and it actually would be believable. You can't do that now. I mean, what exactly are you afraid of? I mean, what exactly do you think is going to happen if you get behind stars, if you get behind people that's in your federation and push them to the moon and make them superstars and make people want to watch it? Why are you satisfied with having the current base at your hands, thinning them out, making them useless, putting them through lots of possible injurious, possible positions of injury by wearing them ragged when you don't really need to? Seriously. All these people, and you're not using them for some reason. I mean, I mean, you're so busy trying to be other things. Try to be wrestling first. You used to be. That's what you prided yourself on. You were a wrestling federation. And that's what made you the money, and that's what got you the business. You're so busy trying to be movie makers, comedy writers, skit doers, that you lost focus of what brought you to the dance, what brought you the ratings. Your highest ratings were when you give people a reason to watch. Now you don't. Now you don't do that often. So yeah, you got people. Use them. You have talents. Use them. There's lots of independent wrestling federations that are out there that you could pull people to put in your development system and build those up to take this place later on. But you're not doing that for some reason. Why? Tyler Black, former SCW Scott County Wrestling Champion, former AAW Heavyweight Champion. Now he's the FCW Champion. Why isn't he on RAW Smackdown yet? Jon Moxley, Dean Ambrose. It's like he has that reputation already. Why isn't he on the main roster yet? Why are you keeping people behind when you don't really need to? Something to think about. If you have any opinions on that, feel free to drop me a comment, agurrier@yahoo.com. Find me on Facebook, Albert Gurrier. You can like my Facebook page, Slammin Synapses, or visit me on Twitter @Slammin Synapses as well. There is no G in there, so keep that in mind. But WWE, if you want to get ahead, you got to put other people ahead. Because there's only so far you could go with CM Punk. There's only so far you could go with John Cena. There's only so far you could get. And there's only so far that you could get by not giving people the rightful place that they deserve or should be in. Because you keep yo-yoing them. Do you want to be successful? Or do you want your ratings to slip to a point where Bonnie Hammer herself says, or Bonnie Hammer drops the hammer on you, says, you guys got to change this. What is it going to take for you to realize that you have superstars that you can use? I know I'm sounding repetitive here, but you have people. Use them. That's all I got to say. Say, you got an opinion? Let me know. For Slammin Synapses, this is Albert Gray. Thanks, see you next time. Good night, everybody.